Crystal went by. Wonderful. And we also have Krista here. Where is she? She's also our part-time art consultant. And of course, we've got Amy and beautiful Emily here helping us with the bar. And my son, Luis Davila, who actually helped curate and hang and install the show. And thank you so much. And of course, our DJ, Givenchy. But Andrea and I met years ago, we really connected. And I just love the work because it's just so mystical and elegant and sexy and like her. We've had several shows and they've been very successful, and you've had a lot of collectors from all over the world collect work. And so this time I said, I just love your sculpture pieces, so let's go ahead and do a series of sculpture pieces. And so as you can see, they are just absolutely fascinating, along with her beautiful, surreal, magical paintings. So I want you to tell us all about your inspiration, etc., of this beautiful series.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, AnArte Gallery, and thank you everybody for coming. I really appreciate it. I think I've been showing here probably for around 20 years now, and it's been such a wonderful support system and experience to show now this fabulous space that keeps getting bigger and bigger. This series is called Dream State, and it was inspired by my interest in the subconscious, the unconscious. Freud calls dreaming the royal road to the unconscious, but I would add to that creativity is also a road or a conduit to the unconscious. It is for me, anyways. And so I developed this series with that theme in mind, and not really, I don't like creating work that's so one-liner, so on the nose. I like to leave my pieces, my imagery open to interpretation, and everybody has a different idea, take a different takeaway. I don't answer questions. I don't have answers. I like to ask questions and have the viewer come up with their own answers and their ideas. And that's very inspiring to me to hear all the different things that people see in my work. So I did start with the sculptures. My work is figurative, primarily figurative. I'm very interested in the figure, and I've studied the figure for many, many years. I do life drawing once a week, and I'm very dedicated to always trying to perfect that, but not in my work, just in that situation. And then it comes through my work, and I can then abstract from that. And so the sculptures are, I would say, a kind of a generalized way of coming up with this dream imagery for me. Like, I just really wanted to create the idea and open it up for people. And so I like to create tension in my work, but I also like to have some sort of sense of tranquility also. And I like to create nuances and subtlety in my work. As you can see, I use a lot of blue, and kind of a gray blue. I love Payne's gray. That's probably my favorite color that I work with. And it provides a cohesiveness to the work, even though, there's sculptures, there's ceramics, there's landscape, there's a little bit of everything. So I feel like that color kind of brings it all together. And then so, as far as my technique goes, my sculptures are made with a very simple technique. All I need is just maybe like a 3x3 foot table, and I pull slabs off of the clay blocks, and it's a very sturdy clay. It's a sculptural clay, and I just create these sections, and the kilns can only accommodate a piece so high. So once I get to about 24, 25 inches, I start creating these sections. And then I put them together. Some of them I put together, some of them, like this black one, I've left in sections. And I like the aspect of the sections. It's part of that piece. And some of the pieces I've put together and sort of hidden that scene, and you can't see it. So it really depends on the piece. Some of them I made, some of them, some of them I like to be seen as one form.
Do you have a favorite?
Not really. I don't. I'm really proud of In the Clouds, which is the piece right there. That was a pretty major piece. Not that one, but the one around here.
Right here.
And so that was the first piece I did for the show, and that kind of like, got this whole, the imagery going for me. And then I like to add pops of color. I really do like that kind of orangey red one. I don't know. And that one had some issues, and I was able to resolve it, and I really am happy the way it turned out. And I just get in the flow, and most of my pieces are planned from the beginning, and I lay the imagery out. I know how it's going to be composed on the space, or I know how the sculpture is going to be filled. And a lot of times I'll make like little maquettes, so then I will follow, and I will use that as a guide to then create the larger piece. But some of them I'm starting from like 7-8 inches, and then I create like a 4 or 5 foot piece. So, but it does give me a guide as far as what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. So, but it's this show really came together with the initial idea of this dream state, this dream consciousness. There's lots of ways to dream, right? There's daydreaming, there's lucid dreaming, there's meditation, there's all kinds of things, psychedelic drugs, I guess, it's like, to
Nightmares.
To get to that state, right, that altered state where you allow your unconscious to create a series of images or put imagery together, and we've all woken up, from dreams and have no idea
But
what the
Andrea,
hell.
the beauty of your art is how tranquil.
Oh, I
Thank
love
you.
it.
That's the
Thank you.
beauty of it.
Serenity.
So it has nothing to do with the nightmare. It's very tranquil.
Thank
And
you.
the other fabulous aspect is how you turn ceramic almost to the point that it looks bronze.
Yes.
What are you glazing it? I thought that was a bronze statue.
Yes, well,
And that's
so
beautiful.
how I work, whether it's painting or sculpture, is that I really am into layering. And so with the paintings, I basically have to work backwards. I have to think like, okay, what is the last surface going to look like? And then I work backwards. But the same is with the sculptures. If I want them to look like bronze, then because bronze can have different patinas, but I usually go for kind of a greeny, goldy patina. And I have done bronzes also. And so it's just a series of layering and very, very thin layers. And then those pieces are glazed, so obviously they don't look like bronze. But some of the work I do try and get them to have that bronze surface. And then that piece behind my sister Erin, I wanted to look like a chiseled stone sculpture, and that's actually the step off for my work for my next show, my next body of work. I'm going to start doing these pieces that look like stone, so I'm going from a bronze look to stone look, and that one actually has marble dust on it, so it does have some stone incorporated into it. So anyway, that's kind of all I can think of to say. Anybody have any questions? Or like to ask me about my technique or my process?
What made you start creating in your mind to go forward and be an artist? I know you started I know this has been all your life.
Thank you. Yolanda's asking how did I start a serious art career, take it seriously and develop it. I'm sort of embellishing, but anyway. So I was explaining earlier that I went to college thinking I would do something practical so I could get an actual job. And then I tried really hard. I was so unhappy. It just didn't feel good in my heart. I was so unhappy and I was terrible at whatever I was doing. And I love art. I'm good at it. I know what I'm doing. And it's the only thing I can do really, not the only thing, but you know, it's something that I'm really, really confident and good at. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. I raised 3 children while I was raising my children.
Oh my gosh.
I had shows, I did residencies, I did commissions, whatever, and I just kept it going. Wasn't able to concentrate fully like I am now, but so I just was so dead inside when I was trying to do something else, and then I'm so alive when I do my work, and I just, it's me, like it's part of me. It's what I do.
It is amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How has it changed and translated through the years from when you started and what forms you were using and what techniques or colors or anything to what you are doing now, going through with all your raising your 3 children? I think that's important. Maybe that has some impact on it.
Well, yes, they have been very inspirational to me. You know, we would sit and do puzzles, and then I did this kind of puzzle series where I actually I did paintings, about 4 by 6 foot paintings, where I was cutting these big puzzle pieces out, putting them together, and then paint them. And just my kids, you know, showed me how any child just has sort of this freedom, right? They don't have the fear and the doubts that we learn. It's all conditioning we learn as we, you know, grow in the society. When we, you know, when I really tried to tap into that childish play and be playful. And how it's changed, I would say, well, you know, the art I see that I did in the 80s is really kind of like more graphic, more illustrative, I would say. And, you know, I was developing my style, so now I'm in I really feel like I'm in the flow, and I have my style, my look. It's not I'm trying to find one.
No.
It just has developed on its own, and some of these pieces they do kind of, I mean, I hate to say this, these kind of build themselves or paint themselves. I don't know. It's already like in me, you know, and I just have to be open to putting it on the canvas or creating these things. And, you know, Picasso says that inspiration finds you while you're working. So you have to be in that place. You can't just say, well, you know, well, I'm going to wait till I'm inspired. No, you can't. You've got to be in that place. You're going to be working, and it will come.
Absolutely.
So,
Say that one more time.
Creating a collection,
I know,
and
right?
you feel stuck, what is an element that will kind of make you bring all those choices back to you?
that's a good question. So, you know, every creative person has a block, or writer's block, artist block, whatever it is. So for me, what I do is I'll switch mediums. So if I'm kind of stuck in a sculpture, like sometimes these pieces have some issues just in construction, and especially if I get really complicated. So if I get frustrated, I will pause, put it away, and then I will go to another, like painting or drawing, or go to my drawing group, or, you know, just it feels so tight, you know, and so I will switch mediums, and I go back and forth, and I feel very lucky that I can do that. Some people only do paintings, only do printmaking, or whatever it is, and so I feel very lucky that I can jump back and forth. And so then I get involved in something else, but while I'm working on that, the other thing is still brewing, and then I'll go back to that piece and go, okay, I can figure this out, but now I know what to do. So it just takes time. You just have to have patience, and just know that it's going to come. Like, have the confidence, you're going to be able to work it out. Yeah.
Andrea, have you ever done these are acrylic, right?
These are all oil.
Right.
Oil.
They're all oil
But-
on canvas or wood.
Right, but have you ever jumped mediums into like I guess, pastels or those kind of things?
I have, yeah, I have done some printmaking and photography and pastels. I've done oil pastels, which I love.
Which
So,
one do you think gives you more flexibility with your creative?
I really like oils because
Yeah.
they're so slow drying. You know, you screw it up, you wipe it off. You can wipe it off the next day, or 3 days later.
It's true.
You know, and so then you can just, you know, keep going. You don't have to be scared like you're gonna do some permanent, you know, mark and you won't be able to change. Your pastels are tricky, watercolors.
Very tricky.
Oh.
I don't,
Yeah.
you know, I need something that's more flexible, more forgiving, and so I do like oil paints. And the clay too, like I've had something that's totally dry, and I will reconstitute it, get it wet, work on it again. So,
Yeah.
you know, so that,
You save the painting.
I do, I try.
Yeah.
Good.
Anyway, thank you everybody so much.